I love cookies. I think they are America's most favorite snack. There's lots of different kinds and flavors and shapes, and they're pretty easy to make. Pretty much anybody can master a cookie recipe. I love that you can take a plate to new neighbors on your street, and it's a great way to break the ice with them. You can take them to an activity after church and mingle and talk to friends afterwards, or you can even just make them for your family, and it's a great way. I love that cookies are a great way to strengthen relationships and spread happiness. Growing up, my mom would often make cookies, and my most favorite of the cookies that she would make are snickerdoodles. And I remember the first time she told me the name of those cookies because I thought, what? Is she making that up? Is she joking? Because that is a funny name for a cookie. But that is the actual name, and nobody knows how that name got its origin, who started it, but that is what they're called. They're pretty similar to a sugar cookie, but they're rolled in cinnamon sugar before they're baked, and they have a kind of tart tanginess to them that sugar cookies don't have. So they're unique in that way. Uh, Over time, I have developed some tips and tricks that I've used with making snickerdoodles that I would like to share with you. And I hope that you find them helpful too. First of all, in the recipe that I use shortening, but not just regular shortening, butter flavored shortening. It helps to enhance the flavor of the cookies and adds a richness to it. Works really well. When I mix my cookie dough, when I'm mixing the wet and ingredients together, I like to add a little bit of vanilla, just a teaspoon, to add also to the flavor of the cookie. Some people don't like to add that because they say it takes away from the tanginess of the cream of tartar, but I found that they taste great still. Also, when you add the eggs to your recipe, make sure you add one egg at a time. So add an egg, make sure the dough is completely mixed and the egg is incorporated, and then add the next egg and carry on from there. But make sure each egg is completely mixed before moving on to the next one. After mixing the dry and wet ingredients together in your recipe, go ahead and pop it in the fridge for at least 30 minutes. And what that does with cookies is it solidifies the shortening so that when you go to bake them and put them in the oven, the cookies don't just flatten out right away. They're able to hold their shape and puff up nicely and are great. Taste delicious. After you've had cookies in the fridge for at least 30 minutes, you bake them on a pan. And the pans that I like to use are aluminum and or with parchment paper. And what that does is helps the cookies to bake evenly as well. Um, when you go to roll your cookies, I like to use the uh, cookie dough baller thing, and that helps them to keep their shape really nicely. When you go to roll them in the cinnamon sugar, you want to roll it all around, cover the whole dough ball, but leave a side of it without cinnamon sugar on it. And that's the side that you're going to put on the pan. And what that does is helps to keep the bottom of the cookie from turning brown too quickly and burning, and helps them stay tasting great. When you go to bake them in the oven, you want to make sure and keep a close eye on them because the cookies will only take about 8 to 10 minutes to bake. And you want to take them out of the oven depending on your oven temperature. Some ovens bake faster than others, but you want to keep an eye on them. And as soon as the cookies are starting to turn brown on the edges, that's when you want to take them out of the oven and let them continue to bake outside the oven on the pan for another 2 or 3 minutes. And then after that, you can transfer them with a spatula and put them on the cooling rack, and they'll be great. I hope that these tips and tricks work well for you when you're baking your snickerdoodles. I know I've loved enjoying them and sharing them with my neighbors and friends and family. And once you're able to master your recipe and have these sugar cookies, these snickerdoodles, you'll they'll look great and be delicious, just like this one. Enjoy.